Welcome to the Active Aging Resources Podcast. I'm Kathy, your host, here to support and celebrate the journey of aging. Each week, we'll chat with experts who will share helpful tips and resources to help you live your best life. Be sure to subscribe and visit activeagingresources.com for insights and inspiration. Hi there. Today, I'm excited to learn about SENSTEC anti-slip shower trays. I am interviewing Mark Conacher of SENSTEC USA. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
I'm
Thanks for
excited to
having
have
me.
you on the program.
No, I'm pleased to be here.
All right, so tell us about your company's mission and the inspiration behind this product, this anti-slip shower tray.
So SENSTEC is an anti-slip shower tray like no other. You know what? This journey of SENSTEC started. Oh, it started 40 years ago. For the owner of a company called Classic Marble in Northern Ireland, and he lived in Australia, but he moved back to Ireland, setting up a business, and he'd been dealing with this product, synthetic marble, in Australia. As I say, in Northern Ireland, he decided to set up a company and started making shower trays with this synthetic marble. That went on great, renowned for their shower trays. One thing led to another, and time passes, and eventually his sons came into the business, and they ended up with this project of looking at shower trays and just understanding that shower trays are dangerous. It's a dangerous environment, and there was nothing within the standards, if you want, that was really addressing this. There was nothing to pitch against. So they decided on this mission to try and create the world's best shower tray. What would it take to create that? Because we would need safety, we would need comfort, and we would need cleanability. The safety is an obvious one. It's quite easy to make something relatively safe in the shower. You've got all these rough surfaces, things like that to grip to. But the problem with these kind of applied coatings is that they are just that, they're rough, so they're uncomfortable to stand on. So that doesn't really work. And then when you've got these kinds of surfaces, dirt clings to that surface. And so when the dirt clings to it, it then starts working against why it was an anti-slip shower pan in the first place, with the build-up of bacteria and grime. It starts becoming slippy again. And when it starts becoming slippy, people start obviously trying to clean it. And when they clean it, they start scrubbing. And when they start scrubbing, they start wearing these surfaces away. And then it doesn't work. And then they start putting chemicals on it. And that erodes the surface even more. And so everything's working against what this anti-slip shower tray was to begin with. So when they were looking at the design of this, it had to combat against all of these different items, if you want. And so what they came up with was this, by integrating the anti-slip into the actual tray itself, that did away with any surface that could wear away, or applied coating that could wear away. It was actually part of the tray. So on the surface of the SENSTEC tray, it's little micro dimples, if you want, that create the stability when you're standing on it. It breaks the contact of your foot with the surface, but that slight break of contact allows for the grip. So that allowed them to they had a safe shower tray. Now they were able to create that grip. They did a study, an independent study, about standing on this surface. It was the podiatry department of the University of Ulster did an independent study on it. And words like comfort, massage, reflexology, these were the type of words, quite surprisingly, but that came out of this study. So it started indicating just how comfortable the surface was for people to stand on.
So the dimples are raised, is that correct?
They're raised, they're micro raised, about 1/8 of an inch off the surface of the surface of the tray.
It really feels the dimples.
It can feel it, but also because of that raised dimple and because of the type of surface, what it allowed for was again, it stopped the dirt from sticking to it because there was a passage for the dirt to run to the drain. So you don't get that problem of build-up of dirt because whilst there's dimples, there's no edges. There's nothing rough for it to dirt to grip onto. So when it comes to cleaning, it's really just a soft cloth, soap, and warm water, and just a wipe down, and you're back to it being brand new again. And
Wow.
that kind of thing will last for the lifetime of the tray. Nothing's wearing away. There is no scrubbing, but there isn't an applied surface to rub off if you want. It is actually part of the tray itself.
It's part of the
So
tray. That's so
yeah.
interesting. What motivated you to come to the United States?
I'm going to say it was obviously things are going away great in the UK, and people are learning about the benefits of SENSTEC there. But out of the blue, the owner, Christopher, received an email from this lady in Kenneburn in Maine. And she had been staying at a luxury hotel. She was at a wedding, a luxury hotel in Ireland. And they happened to have SENSTEC shower trays in all their
Oh,
rooms. So she was there and she used the tray for the 5 days that she was staying at this hotel and was just blown away by how comfortable it was and how safe she felt. It was like nothing she'd ever stood on, and that really stuck with her. And one of the things was that she was back home. She was in the midst of carrying out a renovation on an old property, but it was
okay.
specifically with the view for aging in place. She was looking to build her home for the future.
Hmm.
Um, so
Planning ahead.
as planning ahead. So she's doing this renovation. She goes to a wedding. She's standing on the shower tray. And she's like, "Wow, this is exactly what we need." So she took a photograph of the shower pan and the brand, went home, and then reached out to SENSTEC in the UK and asked if this was available. Christopher's like, "Well,
The light
absolutely,
bulb went off.
we will get one to you." and
Yeah.
uh, and so that then started the process. We got the tray that she needed. It was shipped over. It was installed. Christopher actually she opened up her home to the neighbourhood to let them see all the different things that she'd done to the home. Obviously, one of the things was the SENSTEC tray. People were blown away by it, and so yeah, so that was real. That was really probably the beginning, the light bulb moment for Christopher, thinking,
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah, this shouldn't just be contained within the
That's a
UK.
big market to
There's
open.
there's a lot of people that need safety around the world. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of where it started. Was
Oh,
the
that's
the
great.
little light bulb moment, if you want.
I like it.
So
So
Kim's very special to us.
when you decided to bring it to the United States, what did you experience as far as challenges to get the product here?
You know what? It was if I stand back and look at it on a whole, it was relatively straightforward. Um, if anything, it's just that old tale of everything takes longer than you think. I mean, you think, oh yeah, we'll get that done, and it'll just take a couple of weeks, and it's
Mm.
not like that. And that's just an experience of distribution, of shipping, of bringing stuff over, and it's a huge learning curve for myself, which has been fascinating to learn. You think, all right, okay, it will get picked up in Northern Ireland, and we'll ship it across. Our port was coming in down in Florida, and we said, right, okay, we'll bring it over there. And so I ended up, watching the ship coming across the ocean, and
Really?
it was headed for Boston. Right, Boston. We're kind of in the wrong. Where's it going? But what you learn is, yeah, it's not just coming to Florida. It's going to sit and bounce all the way down the coast to all these different ports, and you're like, all right, okay. So your expectations are adjusted to. So
A little
that was really
different.
the only thing was maybe a slightly longer time scale. But you know what? I did a lot of research. Um, Obviously, coming over here, um, we know nothing about the American market, about companies here, about who does what. So it really took a huge amount of research. When you start doing research on the internet, it's like there's a million people do everything. So how
Absolutely.
do you find that right person? but that was my job, so to
That's
find the
your
right
job.
people. And so that's kind of what I did. And I just did a ton of research and found, no, it started off with, we're going to need a website. So found a website developer and an agency there that could help us with marketing and building the website, Shopify, all these different kinds of things. And so, no, that was one off the list, and they've been absolutely first class. But a big key in it all is distribution. So finding a 3PL partner to work with was huge. And I did a lot of work with that and contacting different companies, speaking to different people. And eventually we found our company, and they've just been brilliant. So yeah, there was a lot of research, but I always believe you get out what you put in, and that's really what's helped it in my book, that we did our due diligence. We really dug deep on who we needed, what we needed, and who we needed, and so far we've done really well. So yeah,
That's wonderful. So your first shipment arrived when?
about a month ago.
Oh,
Um,
wow. So you're brand new here.
Brand new, the whole lot of setup to begin with. We got it. We have a distribution center. We're focusing on, as much as this product's available across the US, we
Okay.
have to start somewhere. And so we decided, let's start in Florida as a learning curve, if you want. We'll start in Florida. That's where we'll make our distribution center. So we'll bring it in, distribution center in Florida. We'll target market Florida to tell people know all about this product and just learn what works, what doesn't work, learning about language, all sorts of things. But whilst organically, we will reach across the US as well, through our messaging. The other key that struck me with beginning in Florida was whilst it's a great demographic, there's a slightly older demographic there, and snowbirds, people going down there have second properties in Florida. But
And then
it
coming
was
back to New
it was
England.
the second properties that really struck me. And I thought, okay, so if they go there, they're going to go home somewhere else, most likely in the United States. And if they have a SENSTEC tray in that property, they're going to go home and start talking about it wherever else in the States they are. And so I thought, right, no, that's definitely the place we're going to start. But yes, we're available across the United States, although we did
That's
start
great.
in that little corner.
So are you finding that your shower tray differs from everything else that's on the market here?
Well, what makes SenseTech different and unique is its patents. There is nothing like this in the world. It
Right.
has multiple patents. It has a US patent, a UK patent, and European patents. So there is nothing like this in the world. Um, it, I think that shower safety is something that everybody wants, but in my own research and my learning about all this, there's not a huge amount of discussion about it. And when people if you walk into a store, you'll see anti-slip or non-slip or slip resistant,
Slip resistance, a big
and, and
word.
and what does all that mean? Does anybody really know what that means? Because when it comes to slip resistance, there is a huge variety of results, if you want, and and nobody's really having that conversation. All it takes is for a salesman or whoever to say, "No, yes, this is an anti-slip tray, but what level of anti-slip tray is this, and how long is that going to last, and how easy is it to keep clean?" And I don't believe there's a lot of conversation around that subject. And so that's kind of my job, and in an element of just getting that discussion going. That's really what I want to do. And so yeah, with these three patents, we think we have what is the best shower tray in the world, and it's kind of my job to make sure people know about it.
I guess. So are your products adaptable to different types of layouts and, say, retrofit challenges? You spoke about the woman in Maine who was redoing her bathroom, remodeling, so she was kind of starting from scratch. But what about retrofitting, someone who wants to change their shower pan?
Yeah, you know what we have again. All companies have to start somewhere. I mean, and in the UK, there's just over 40 different sizes and shapes of shower pans. Um, we decided to start here and again, learn about what are people looking for, what do they need. So we started with 10 different rectangles, if you want, different sizes of rectangles, um, up to I think it's 6 foot by 4 foot is the largest one that we'll do. Um, so we'll start with that, and that should cover a lot of bases for people, really. You know, whilst you've got they're in metric, once you convert it to imperial, it does land within a lot of the US sizes. But what we can offer is a custom size. Now, the custom size is really what I mean by custom is we can give you access to what we have in the UK. So that
Okay.
opens up a whole other set of sizes. Um, Also in the UK, we can do any colour. In the US, we just decided to start with white because it would be impossible to do a whole range of colours, and because it's manufactured in the UK, that's obviously the place for it to be done. So from a customization path, we can do that through the UK. It would just be a custom special order, and it obviously would be individually priced based on the different modifications that had to be done to it. From a size point of view, we have, whilst we have, again, there's 40 sets, different sizes and shapes, they can be trimmed down a little bit, taking an inch off, no one or other or both of the sides, to try and make that, up to an inch, to try and make it fit. So
Okay.
again, they are slightly customizable, sizes that are in the UK.
So you must do the zero barrier showers as well.
So zero barrier. That's really for what you really need for that is a good installer. That's what I always say. This
Okay.
is this the shower pan itself is 1 3/8 thick, and again in the UK, uh, when you get when it comes to a shower pan tends to just sit in place on the surface of your floor, and away you go. When you're looking for the zero entry style, that tends to be what you have at the moment in the US, where it's tiled all the way in, and so
Right.
your slip resistance comes from the level of slip resistance that's on the tile. But what you can do with the SenStec trays, it can be recessed into the floor. There are great products out there. Rapid Recess is one of them, where you could
About that.
special
Yeah.
brackets, and it allows you to drop the floor down to 3/4 of an inch, which is the thickness of the flooring itself. And then by the time you have your various build-ups round about the shower pan, um, uh, with your tiles and whatnot, that then pretty much brings it right up to the flush anyway. It has been done in the UK numerous times to do this. So what you really need is just a great installer, or
So
that
the
understands what's necessary.
installers need to be trained here, or is a good contractor able to just use it as or install it as they normally would a shower pan?
Absolutely, it's just a
Okay.
standard shower pan. It's just
Okay.
that it just what you're looking for. I know, no, there's lots of great DIY people out there. Lots of people that know what can turn their hand to things. But as an ex-installer, my background is installation. I ran an installation company for over 30 years, and was on the tools myself for 20 of those years. Um,
Wow.
I would always go towards a professional and ask people to seek professional advice, but especially for something like that involves water, because
Water.
it can just do so much damage if you get it wrong. It really does. It could enter in one place, it's causing damage in another, and it's just the cost is astronomical. And I've just been there so many times, having to go back and fix people's mistakes or whatever, and what it's come down to is actually just lack of experience. That's all. It's not that the person meant to do whatever they did. It was just lack of experience. So going and using a tradesman that has that experience and has seen it all before, you know what, it it may cost you a little bit more money at that time, but what that's
But
going to save
well
you in the
worth
long
it.
run, and just you're able to relax knowing that it's been done right and it's guaranteed and all these different things. I would always push towards a professional.
It sounds smart. So, does SenStec collaborate with healthcare providers, senior communities? other organizations that are promoting aging in place, or are you just going after the retail customer right now?
No,
Here in
not
the
at
US,
all.
I should say.
No. So our plan going forward, again, this is all very early, and these are the organisations that I'm communicating with at this moment in time. I joined the NEIPC, again,
Okay.
hugely
National Aging in
interesting.
Place.
Yeah, hugely interesting organisation. Lots of fantastic people doing fantastic work, and and I believe that with organisations like that, being part of that, and just sharing my little message, it gives them just another little tool in their back pocket. That there's going to
Absolutely.
be situations that they come across, and that's what they're all about. You know, we're all about helping people and keeping people safe, but especially when it comes to as you get older, you need to stay on your feet. The damage that slipping in the shower can cause is just doesn't bear
Devastating.
yeah, it doesn't bear thinking about. And so with a product like SenStec, people need to know about it. I mean, I, I, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell people about it. And so these kinds of organizations, yes, I'm tapping into them just now and sharing with them and just sharing my message and make sure they know about SenStec. And so, yeah, it's early days, but I'm very positive. There's been great feedback, and it's been nothing but positivity.
Wow,
So
I can
yeah,
imagine. When I heard
um,
about it, I said, I've got to get in touch with Mark because it's a fabulous product. And we hear that word slip resistant over and over. And anti-slip is something that you don't hear. And if you do, you don't really believe it.
no, and it's just really these three words. I wrote an article for a magazine about non-slip, anti-slip, and slip resistant. What do they mean? And they do mean specific things, different things, but when it comes to a salesman, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to that word is just bandied about
Right.
whatever. Nobody's using it to it. And Joe Average, when as much as there are definitions when you look these things up, Joe Average just views it as all as one. Oh, it's anti-slip. Okay, well that's I'm going to be safe on that. Or it's slip resistant. All right, I'm going to be safe on that.
Be
And you
safe.
think if I buy that, that's me for the rest of my life. I'm going to be safe on that. That's not the case. And the number one problem with all these, well, lots of different shelters, again, I go back to it's cleanability. And if you do have a quick Google about cleaning shower trays, and you will get thread upon thread of all over Twitter, Reddit, everywhere, of people just having nightmare problems trying to get their shower trays clean
It's
because they're
so
notoriously different to get clean. And if you can't keep it
quick.
clean,
It discolors.
yes. So the colour, it looks ugly. So that's the beauty of SenseTech, that none of that's happening. So you're
Mm.
not buying products. You don't need to put the chemicals on it. You're just wiping it down and it's back to new. And it's like that for the lifetime of the tray. So when you do buy it, you do know that you're going to be safe for the lifetime of the tray. So
And what
it's
is the lifetime of the tray? What does your warranty look like?
we offer a lifetime warranty
Lifetime.
on the product. It's it's one of those, a shower tray or it doesn't matter whether it's a toilet, what it is. The lifetime is really until the next person comes in. Do you know what I mean? And wants to change things up. When it comes to SenseTech, again, it's not going to wear away. It's not going to disintegrate. So if it's looked after, it hasn't been damaged, and as long as it's kept clean by just wiping it down with a soft cloth and mild soap, then how long's a bit of string?
How
Do you know
long?
what I mean?
Okay.
It's a gel coat. It's a stone resin. So this is solid. As I say, if you had a 4 foot by 3 foot tray, you're going to struggle to lift that.
I was going to
It's
say it's going
yeah,
to be pretty heavy.
yeah, it's pretty heavy. It's a stone resin gel coating, so it's as well as we have the dimples. It's smooth on the surface. It's a nice feel, and so yeah, that's it's not going to wear away on you, and so yeah, it's pretty
Do you have
impressive.
any plans to make anything beyond shower trays with this product, with this stone resin?
Not at the moment. No, there are no plans. There's plans in the pipeline to maybe change the design a little bit or change the aesthetics of it a little bit.
Okay.
And they've got things to play with, but the dimple is the patent, so it'll stay with the dimple,
You're
and
staying
and
with that.
shower trays are the focus, for sure.
Can you tell me about that great video that's on your website with testing for the slippage? Really, right?
So
It's people should watch that. It's wonderful.
so the video you'll be talking about is the German barefoot ramp test.
Yes.
Um, so again, when we looked at testing all these different things, well, there's lots of different ways of testing slip resistance, and they all have their, whilst they're all fantastic at testing slip resistance, um, they all have their little quirks about them. And so the standard test in the US is using a tribometer. But the problem with the tribometer is that it doesn't work on heavily textured surfaces. So when it tests the SENSTEC tray, it would treat it like it was ice, and
Oh,
so it doesn't like it at all. So that wasn't going to be an option. We had the second test that turned to popular around the world and popular for tiles, for slip resistance on tiles, was the pendulum test. The pendulum test was invented in the US about 50 years ago. And so the pendulum test is a pendulum, and it has a rubber foot, and it strikes the surface and then goes the distance that after it strikes the surface is what's measured. And they put all these calculations together to come up with a level of slip resistance. If we talked about the pendulum test, the highest rating they will give you is a PTV of 36.
okay.
That's the highest rating they get, and that's a 1 in a million chance of slipping. If you could hit a PTV of 36, that's one
Wow.
in a million. So SENSTEC has that, but they also carried on testing SENSTEC to see how far they could push it. And SENSTEC reached a PTV of 48. So that was off the charts
Unheard of.
for anti-slip. But the one you're talking about, so when we've got the pendulum test, that's great. We're testing, we've got these results, oh, everybody's happy. But a shower tray isn't a pendulum and a rubber foot. So there is a test out there, the German barefoot ramp test. And what they do with the German barefoot ramp test is they take a sample of a product, and these tests are done in a laboratory type conditions because the machinery is so big. But they took a sample of the SENSTEC tray, so 4 foot by 2 foot. They put it on the apparatus. A person stands on top of the sample and is harnessed in place. And then they start spraying water and soap onto the surface to mimic what is showering conditions. And that's the beauty of the barefoot ramp test, that it is actually showering conditions. So while standing on this apparatus, the person then starts walking backwards and forwards, slowly backwards and forwards, all the while this warm water and soap's being pumped onto the surface. And then the apparatus starts inclining. And the person's aware that it's moving, isn't aware of how much it's moving, but it's slowly they move it. And so they kept testing. Now the highest rating that they will go to, there's three classes. There's an A, a B, and a C. So the highest rating that you can get is actually a C, which strangely enough, but the highest rating is a C, and that would be if the tray can reach 24 degrees without slipping. And
Okay.
SENSTEC is a class C that reached 24 degrees. But again, nosiness, they keep going and keep pushing it to see how far it can go. And SENSTEC reached 30 degrees. So 30 degrees without slipping. And now I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you can stand barefoot, wet, soapy conditions on a surface at 30 degrees, can you imagine just how safe that is when that's laying flat down? There's just nothing like that. So that's definitely a great test. And again, as you've said, if you go into my social media, we have that footage there of the
Really
SENSTEC tray
tells the
being
story and shows
tested.
the story.
Just
Yeah.
so visual. I remember the first time I saw it, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!
Right?
It's fantastic." Just that. Normally you don't. Normally again the pendulum, you see it going, "Oh yeah, that's great," but this is you're just drawn into it,
Person's
and you're like,
foot.
"Yeah, it's just crazy how good it is to see." So So yeah,
Yeah,
that tells a
that
story in
was
itself.
very effective. Absolutely. All right, so just tell me what a typical customer experience is from the time they get on your website, they right until they get it and install it and then actually use it. What's their experience?
Their experience. So we've set this up again as a first off, we are a predominantly a B2C company, so direct to consumer. So we
Okay.
want people to come onto our website, whoever that may be, come onto our website, and they're able to purchase the shower pan there and then. Now we have a list of the sizes, and you can purchase the tray directly on the website. One of the things that we spent a lot of time doing was we spent a lot of time in the packaging, and we created a special crate for the tray to sit in if you want, because we wanted it to be it's a fantastic product, and it's a fantastic product in Northern Ireland when it's made. It needs to be a fantastic product when it lands in your home, and so we
Absolutely.
spent a lot of time getting this crate uh, right for transport if you want. So, but when they go to the website, they make their purchase. Our distribution centre will then contact the person and the customer and arrange a delivery date. Depending on what that is, depending on where they are. Obviously, if they're in Orlando, it's going to it's only going to maybe take a week to get to them.
Days.
But if they're up in Seattle, it might take a few days longer. So we have that thing. But what we have is a white glove delivery service. So obviously this is a big product. We're not Amazon. Nobody's going to come and deliver that, drop it at your door and walk away. Um, this is a high quality tray. We want everything to be high quality. Everything's got to mimic that whole journey all the way through. And so that's why we decided to go down that route. So we have a white glove delivery, and it will be delivered to your home, to any room in your home wherever you wish to have it. Again, knowing that there's sometimes construction going on in people's homes, if there's renovations and the tray turns up, that's why we needed to make the packaging or the crate substantial as well, to know that the environment
Because it's
it's likely.
stored for a bit in the
Yeah,
garage, say. Yeah.
yes, and then when they store it in the garage, somebody's going to put a bucket on top of it, or
Mhm.
what. So it's got to withstand all of these kinds of things. So there's definitely a lot of thought going into all that side of things, as to make sure that everything goes well. Obviously, if people have, you know, they have their installers. If the installers need to contact myself, obviously there's lots of contact details on the website.
Oh,
There's installation instructions if people need it that are on the website. Our resources page I've worked hard on that resources page, trying to give as much information as possible um, on anything anybody would need. But obviously someone's going to have that question that isn't there.
absolutely.
Then
Right,
then
it's a
you
new
just
product. Yeah.
absolutely. And so you just reach out, and we'll get any questions answered for you. And
Okay.
there's no problem at all. But obviously, then, and as I say, so that includes installers reaching out to myself. We will speak the same language,
You've
being an
been there.
ex-installer. So I'm quite happy for anybody like that to reach out if they have any queries or concerns about how to install it. But it's the same as any other shower pan, and it's pretty straightforward to install.
Great to know. So tell me about one of your most favorite testimonials.
Favorite testimonial. Obviously, obviously the Kim one in Boston, and her testimonial was a good one about her
Yeah.
first experience. But you know what, we get a lot of testimonials come through, and there was one that touched me recently. Was a person who they have Parkinson's disease, and so to go on to our, it's very difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to get in as an installer. It's difficult to get people to give reviews in the first place. Not people don't naturally
Sure.
just write, and I always love seeing a review because I know someone's been compelled to take action and wants to speak about it. And this
Mhm.
person has Parkinson's disease, and left a review just about how it's changed her life. And
Wow.
that really touched me, that someone that's got a condition, and our product is making her life better. And And what she said was that, she says, actually, it's not just my life it's changed my husband's life as well. Because he used to hate all the gadgets that she had in the shower, for all, whether it be mats hanging up and all these different things that she needed to try and not slip in the shower, shoes. And says now he loves it because all these things have been taken out, and she has her SenStec tray. But I think it's easy to get caught up with reviews and stand back and think, oh, look how good we are. And I really don't look at reviews in that way. I look at reviews as just, wow, imagine being in a situation where you felt scared, unsure, worried about going and having a shower, and
That story
and having
just
problems. It's just something that we all do every day, and
without
yet
even
people,
thinking about it,
without
we
thinking
rush
about it,
in, take our shower, rush out. Yep.
yeah. And I think I can't imagine. I've sat down and thought, what must that feel like?
Mm.
And so that's what gets me. That someone has taken the time to and to tell us just what a difference it's made. And she's not the only one. Do you know what I
That's
mean? And these are the special ones. Obviously, when people are aging, if you want, and it's given them just one little part of their day, it's opened it up to being joyful again and feeling confident, because that's what it's about. It is about feeling confident. And then you've got the other stories with how it's kids. I mean, parents with kids, and I mean, it's kids are up to all sorts of things in the shower. Do you know what I mean? And they're rock and roll stars in there, and so there's a lot of movement and quick movements, and it's just such a dangerous
and
place.
slip
But
bang.
that's it. But
Yep.
with SenStec, we spoil their fun because they
Yeah.
can't slip anywhere.
Spoil the fun.
They could try to, but they
Just
can't.
like the feel of those dimples.
That's it. So
Um,
yeah. But
I
no,
think,
that was a review that touched me for sure.
oh, I think we've hit upon every aspect of your business. Is there anything else you think people should know about this product?
No, just you know what? There's so much information on the website. I would encourage people to come along and have a look at the website. It's senstec-usa.com. Have a look. There's so much information there. If nothing else, just to learn. We have um, a CPD course on there that you could learn all about anti-slip. What is anti-slip, and what is the testing around anti-slip? The Christopher, the owner, is very good. He does live training
Oh,
with this course, and it's backed up by the Architects of Ireland as well. So it's a really, really interesting course. You'll learn so much on it. And so I convinced them to record it. I says, we need to have this 24 hours a day. And so if we can, whilst live is fantastic, and if you can do it live, you should do it live, Christopher. It's good fun. But there's a recording on, again, under the resources, and you can take the CPD course, and it's hugely interesting. And so if nothing else, you'll learn a bit about what anti-slip's all about,
wonderful.
and how important it is. Yeah,
I'll have your contact information below this so people can reach out, watch
absolutely.
that video that we talked about, and really take a look at that website, because this is an amazing product that caregivers, seniors, and even for children, like you said. I mean, it's just a great product.
Safety is for everybody. So
It sure
no,
is. It
I
sure is.
really appreciate you having me.
Thank you so much, Mark. And I really hope that your company takes off here in the States, and I'll do my best to get the word out.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Thanks for spending time with us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and share it with those who would appreciate it. Don't forget to visit activeagingresources.com for more heartwarming stories and invaluable resources. Until next time, remember to take care, stay active, and cherish every moment of your journey. We're here to help you every step of the way.